Well, good afternoon again, once again, folks. Thanks for joining us today on the United Regional Chambers weekly update. We try and bring you some interesting guests and talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the area. Today, my guest is Miss Susan Williams, who owns a company called Back to Home Healthcare. I'm sorry, Back to Home Healthcare, and she is helping an awful lot of our seniors be able to live in their homes, come back to their homes from any of the assisted livings, the hospitals, or any place where they might be. So, welcome, Susan.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jack, for having me. Thank you.
Now, we had a great ribbon cutting ceremony last night. Susan went all out and she baked all weekend long to bring all that stuff that she had last night. But we're here to talk about a little bit about your business and how you are helping many of the seniors in the area. So tell us a little about Susan first.
All right. So my name is Susan Williams. By trade, I am a respiratory therapist. I've been a respiratory therapist since 2002. Shortly thereafter, I entered into a program called the Administrator in Training Program held at Kindred Healthcare. Kindred Healthcare was one of the biggest healthcare organizations. They kind of faded out. However, I ended up becoming an executive director of a skilled nursing facility. I've been doing that for over 15 years. I currently work at a skilled nursing facility as well, alongside with opening my home care agency 2 years ago.
Okay. And, tell us, why is it important for seniors to be back in their homes?
I honestly believe that, I get to see two sides fold of it. I get to see the seniors here at the facility who are unable to see their loved ones, unable to see their friends, unable to socialize and engage. So for me, it was really important, especially during the pandemic, to try to find a solution to get some of our clients out of the nursing home and back home.
So tell us what are some of the services that you offer a family when they want to bring their loved ones home?
So some of the services that we offer assistance with daily living activities. That includes toileting, grooming. We assist with medication reminders, social engagement. So for instance, if they belong to a recent club in the neighborhood, we would have our caregivers take them to that social club to engage with friends. We take them shopping. We also assist with things around the house, such as light housekeeping, meal prepping. And most of all, one of the things that we enjoy doing is making sure that they are still getting some kind of physical activity.
Okay. And, tell me, how do you evaluate their needs?
Jack, I didn't hear you. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. How do you evaluate their needs?
So once a client calls Back to Home Healthcare Services, what we do is we actually send out a nurse to do a home assessment. Once that home assessment is performed to make sure that they're adequate for home care, because we do have a lot of clients that want home care. However, they may not be eligible for home care. There's certain things that they, have to be able to do somewhat on their own. And then I follow up with a in-person home assessment as well. I do a home evaluation, home safety evaluation. And if they fit the criteria, then we bring them on board.
Now, as you're doing your evaluations, do you or your staff handle their medications?
We are not governed by the state. Non-medical care providers are not allowed to administer medication, but we certainly can remind them. We can point them out to them. We can set up their schedule for them. So we could do all of the hosts, and we also do queuing for them. And that seems to be a lot of the problems with some of our seniors, is that they just forget, or they can't remember, or they don't remember where the medication is. So we're there to help them.
What is queuing? You just mentioned that.
Remind them.
Remind them. Okay.
Yeah, or just try to show them how to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you also help them schedule appointments, medical appointments, physical therapy appointments, whatever it might be?
We also do that. And we also bring them to their doctor's appointments. We work very closely with the physicians to make sure that we're all on the same page. The ultimate goal is to make sure that there is a continuum of care for our clients.
And how about do you arrange food deliveries and do you help them with their meals?
So we do have quite a few of our caregivers pride themselves on their techniques of cooking. And some of our clients they participate in Meals on Wheel.
Okay.
Um, and we find ourselves at times, making meals outside of the Meals on Wheels as well, especially if a client has like a specialty that they want or they haven't had in a while. They may have been in a nursing home or at a hospital and they finally get home and they really want something cooked. Our caregivers can provide that as well. We also do grocery shopping for them as well.
Oh, that's a big part of it is getting their grocery shopping. Now,
Absolutely.
tell me, what areas do you cover?
Oh, we cover a broad range. We cover all the way from the tip of Pawtucket, which is Attleboro, all the way up 95 corridor, right into Greater Boston.
Okay, and I know that we're talking about finding you a regular brick and mortar.
Yes.
How many
Mhm.
folks do you have out on the road right now?
So right now I have a home office, which is generally regulated by the state. However, I also have a virtual office in Canton, Massachusetts.
And how about your staff? How many caregivers do you have out right now?
I currently have 29 caregivers that work anywhere from per diem to full time. I have 7 nurses, and the rest are home health aides um, that we actually have been growing with our free online home health aid training program as well.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you were a respiratory therapist. Are those some of the treatments that you can help with at home?
They are. One of the things that I enjoy doing with my caregivers is I put them through a vigorous respiratory boot camp prior to them going out to clients' homes. A lot of the clients that we have, they're on oxygen, shortness of breath, and especially with the pandemic and COVID, we're able to identify signs and symptoms early and get them either to the hospital or get them tested for COVID or any kind of respiratory illnesses.
And now, do the caregivers or the nurses use their own vehicles to do this?
They do. They currently do.
And on an average, how often do you have to transport, some of your clients?
On average, just depending, I would say we have maybe 10 or 15%. A lot of times the family members want to pick up their loved one and bring them to the physician's office. But we generally take them to like Walmart just for social engagement if that's on their care plan. So we do whatever is, it's kind of hard to put a number on it. But if it's on the care plan and it's been deemed safe for the client to go out shopping or be escorted by a caregiver, we certainly will do it.
How about those stubborn old folks like my dad who didn't want to give up their license and they want to drive, but you can sit in the passenger seat? Can your folks do that?
We have a 99-year-old who is driving currently, and we've actually had to get a reassessment from our physician and eye doctor, and of course, the registry of motor vehicles. If they're deemed eligible to drive and the insurance is in place and the caregiver feels comfortable, then it's a number of factors that we have to put into perspective before we do that.
Wow.
But we have
I give you credit because I get nervous sitting in that passenger seat because they're too busy talking.
oh, I
So,
know.
so tell us, what else can you do to help our seniors in the area?
Oh, what else can we do? The main thing that we pride ourselves on is social engagement. We want to make sure that they are able to have some quality of life. And not to say that in a facility that they're not, but we make those extra steps if say for instance there's a wedding coming up. We love engaging and bringing them to those special occasions. That's been like the highlight of some of our caregivers. And we get a lot of calls just to have escorts, such as accompanying an elder to or senior to like a bar mitzvah or a upcoming wedding or a birthday.
Okay, and true, because that takes a lot of stress and strain off of the family. when you have a big event like that, a wedding, a shower, a bar mitzvah, they're mainly concerned with taking care of all the guests. And when one of your folks comes along, that's one less thing they have to worry about.
Yeah, it does take the release. It does take a lot of stress off of the family, especially if the senior is incapable of going to the bathroom on their own and so forth. We don't want the wedding to stop because grandma has to go to the bathroom and there's no one there to help. And then it takes a special skill to ambulate them and walk with them as they may be unsteady in their gait and so forth.
Well, you've got a very fabulous new company. It's not so new. It's 2 years old. You've just become part of our chamber, and we're glad to have you. We had a great event last night.
Yes.
A ton of folks. We met the king last night, the little guy, and I promised him, so you got to give your muscle some shout out today.
I didn't hear that last part, Jack. I'm sorry.
I said, we got to meet King last night.
Yes, you did meet.
And that's her grandson.
My very first grandson.
And I promised him, so you got to give your muscle some shout out today.
I will. Darian, thank you so much for everything that you did by getting us all situated and setting up the room and doing everything that I actually asked you to do. There it is.
Darian's her husband, a really, really great guy. Well, yeah. Susan, thanks for coming on the show today. It's just a brief hello, say hello, tell folks what you do. And what's the best way for us to get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me by calling me at 508-552-9831, or you could go on our website at www.backtohomehealthcare.com. And someone will get back to you immediately. You'll probably end up speaking to me directly. I have this pride thing about wanting to meet each and every client that is brought into our services.
Oh, she was in networking, buzzing like a bee last night. She had to go and talk to everybody, make sure that everybody knows who Susan is.
That's Susan, it.
Thank you very much for coming on the show today. We appreciate you, and we're here. Let us know what we can do. And for you folks out there, if you have an elder, a senior, or somebody who needs some extra care, please reach out to Susan and her team. They do a fantastic job. Once again, I want to give a shout out to Dave Angel, our producer, and thank you to all the team over at AACS for putting up with me every week and having the patience when I'm not so good with all this audiovisual stuff. But again, folks, thanks. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you next week. And everybody stay safe.
Thank you, Jack, for having me.